Hell is filled with people like you.
It's time to jump into DraftKings. Go to DraftKings today at DraftKings.com. Golf, NASCAR, soccer, you name it. And of course, Major League Baseball, basketball, hockey, and football. Go to DraftKings.com. Listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks for DFS advice all year round.
This is Sean O'Toole with the Armchair Quarterbacks. Catch me drive time with Matt McGee, the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and Facebook Live.
Big news and the big games covered in the Big Ten by the Armchair Quarterbacks all year long.
Third down and about 22. As Smith drops the ball, he's got his tight end open, but he's got Carter downfield, and he's gone. Michigan leads the game with a first touchdown on a bullet, a bomb to Carter, 71 yards. Now State's lead 7-3. There he goes. So long. Ohio State touchdown. That's that old 1-2 punch. You take two of the first time and then have it the second time.
In his career, Lorenzo White 15 times rushed for 100 yards in a half. 5 of those this season. On 2nd and 10.
Long throw to Ryson, and he's open all the way to the 6-yard line.
Big Ten football covered in the Southeast by the Armchair Quarterbacks. Weekends in the fall just got a hell of a lot better. Saturday mornings, it's Dixie Football Nation, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We talk SEC, ACC, the Big Ten, and more. It's the only true Southern football kickoff show. You don't want to miss it. 8 to 9 Eastern Saturdays. The Armchair Quarterbacks have got you covered all football season long. Here in St. Augustine, Top Gun Supply is the friendly gun shop. Top Gun Supply stocks a wide range of firearms. They buy and sell used guns. Top Gun Supply at 525 State Road 16 in St. Augustine. The friendly gun shop, a proud sponsor of the Armchair Quarterback.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays. Drive time? Find the Armchair Quarterback Show on Facebook today.
Put your flag in the dirt, boy.
Kick off fall and kick off happiness with Schaffer Hopper Grapefruit and Pomegranate Beer. Log on to kickoffhappiness.com for your chance to win a cool custom cooler with Schaffer Hopper swag, including your favorite team's jersey. Look for the Schaffer Hopper displays at your local retailers for great savings on Schaffer Hopper Grapefruit and Pomegranate. And learn more about the sweepstakes at kickoffhappiness.com. See site for official rules. Must be 21 or older. Brewed and bottled in Germany. Imported by Radeberger Group USA, Norwalk, Connecticut. Always enjoy responsibly.
Where did you get all that?
We're like, closed or something. Go away.
That was cool.
Yeah. Customers suck.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
But what the hell, boy?
Make sure to listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Good enough for us down here in the bayou. Go Tigers and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
It's morning.
Yes, and what a lovely morning.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That girl across the bar is flirting with my boyfriend. What do I do? I mean, I would say something, but be cool about it, be casual. Be cash. But definitely say something. Okay, maybe. What do you think? You go march right over there, tell him to enjoy the rest of his life, and then just go make out with someone at the bar. What? Who? I don't know. That guy's got a beard. That'll work. Okay, that's not helpful. Anything from you? Fight her. No, wait. Fight him. Well, fight someone. Fight everyone. Okay, I'm not gonna fight. Well, then break something or break everything. God, I'm so horny. I don't even know why I asked you. What do you got? Let's all calm down for... Calm down for a minute. All right. What were we talking about?
Armchair.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks, CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good morning, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. As we wind into this holiday weekend, let's get you set for Thursday's action and looking ahead. 105 Eastern, Angels-Yankees conclude their series, Griffin Canning and Jordan Montgomery. At 1:10, same for the Royals and Red Sox with Nathan Eovaldi set to take the hill. Mets and Braves, DeGrom versus Smiley in game number 3. Cardinals and Rockies at 8:40. Adam Wainwright and Senzatella match up in Denver. Mariners Blue Jays 107. Kikuchi versus Hyun Ryu. 2:10, you got the White Sox and Twins with Lance Lynn on the mound. And the Rangers and A's at 3:37. Sean Manaea and Dane Dunning. At 6:05, the Marlins are at the Phillies with Zach Eflin set to take the hill. And at 7:05, it's the Dodgers at the Washington Nationals. Tony Gonsolin and Patrick Corbin. Brewers and Pirates are also first pitching at 7:05. And the Astros and Indians, they reunite with Framber Valdez on the mound. A 2.11 ERA since coming off the IL. Padres and Reds, it's Chris Paddock and Luis Castillo, as Castillo tries to get his ERA below the 5 line. Giants and D-backs at 9:40. That's the last game of the night. Johnny Cueto and Merrill Kelly. Over in the National Basketball Association, the Hawks and Bucks. Game number 5 in the Eastern Conference Finals. They'll tip off at 8:30 Eastern on TNT in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And the NHL Stanley Cup takes the night off. Looking ahead to your holiday weekend, as we gear up for the 4th of July, the Mets and Yankees are set to do battle all weekend long in the Bronx. Friday's game begins at 7:05. Other series of interest. You got the Rays and Blue Jays. That series is in Buffalo, 7:07 first pitch on Friday. Cubs and Reds in Cincinnati. And the Marlins are at the Braves all weekend, while the Cardinals are at the Rockies. Your Boston Red Sox are in Oakland to take on the A's, 9:40 first pitch on Friday night. And Padres and Phillies, along with Dodgers and Nationals, headlines a hell of a baseball weekend. Other series of interest, Astros at Indians, starting at 7:10 on Friday, and the Giants are at the D-backs, 9:40 first pitch Friday night. And in the Stanley Cup Finals, Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, game number 3 in Montreal, Tampa Bay versus the Habs. They will not play Saturday or Sunday. Game number 4 is set for Monday, July 5th, 8 o'clock start on NBC. That game is north of the border. And that's your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. Stay tuned for the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk, live from the First Coast. Good morning. It's time to wake up, y'all. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays on CBS Radio, YouTube Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. The Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern sports talk. Good morning, Mr. Joey Areola.
Good morning, Mac. I don't know much, but I know one thing. The Cubs season is over. Blow it up. Sell it all. It's embarrassing. It's done with. Pathetic.
Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I don't know much, but I know one thing. I'm excited to have Joey Areola with us today. He stands with a long line of great Colts and great Colt quarterbacks like Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, Johnny Unitas, and Dan Orlovsky. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Kramer Marcelino wants us to sell him little Jerry Seinfeld.
Well, that's out of the question.
But Kramer, cockfighting is an illegal and immoral activity.
Yeah, if you got a loser. But little Jerry was born to cockfight.
No more cockfighting. Let's just sell him to Marcelino the cockfighter and be done with it.
You know, I think you're jealous.
Of what?
Yeah. Yeah, you see in little Jerry Seinfeld the unlimited future you once had. Now, just because Jerry Seinfeld is a has-been, don't make little Jerry Seinfeld a never was.
Kramer, give me that rooster.
Never! You hate him because he's doing more with your name than you ever will. Yeah.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man.
Hey, howdy, hi. Top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. Mac McGee sitting alongside Joey Areola. Joey, how the hell are you on the first day in July?
Yes, sir. First off, great attire. I love it. We're getting the weekend ready. It's going to be a fun, everyone hopefully gets a little bit extra time off. But that being said, I'm just ready to talk sports, lead into the weekend, and get everyone going in the right direction for a 4th of July where we support our troops.
Yeah, so I couldn't find one of my 38 remote controls that I have conducting all the nonsense that goes on in my studio and beyond. So I was supposed to start the show off wearing this sucker, and I forgot all about it because this is what I normally do on the 4th of July weekend. So now we're back to normal. Now I won't be able to see anything for the duration of the show. I normally wear the big hat, but I'm telling you right now, I'm tired of having to hold my headset because you can't get it over. I'm eventually going to have to expand that thing or cut into it so I can just slide it over the headset.
Yep.
But I went with the normal hat that I wear on Wake Up Nation. By the way, another Wake Up Nation will be dropping this weekend. I got some things to burn off my chest. We are not going to be doing a show tomorrow, so this, for all intents and purposes, happy 4th of July show. We'll get into some festivities later on in the show, but let's go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off with well, you know what? We'll get into the Cubs later on, okay?
Yep.
But we'll go ahead and start off with what I had planned for, which is there's like 4 things that are burning me right now. The first thing is this Gwen Berry that I have a picture up of. Are you familiar with her?
Not really, actually, to be honest with you. I think I may know what you're talking about if this is
okay.
Olympic.
Well, good job not paying attention to her. Sorry ass. But second of all, she is a United States Olympic hammer thrower. Okay. So for people who want to know what that is, I don't know. It's a sport you get good at when you're not good at anything else. But she's not even our best one. She's typically 6th. She got 3rd place the other day. So she's not even like, oh, she had a bad outing, blah, blah, blah. But she'll probably be over in the Tokyo Olympics because she got 3rd. And a lot of lawmakers and whatnot are saying we don't want her over there because what she did when they played the national anthem on American soil with nothing but Americans competing. Okay. This is how asinine this is. Okay. Nothing but Americans competing to see who's going to represent America to go to Japan to represent the country. And usually, man, the Olympics are all about coming together, bringing the world together on a world stage. She got offended that they played the national anthem during their medal ceremony. It was, I guess you can call it medal ceremony, but it's not a gold medal or anything of that nature because they're just competing to get over there, right?
Jesus.
And she said that she was shocked, that she didn't expect it to happen, that she was told it was going to be the national anthem was going to be played before or after the ceremony. And so when her other counterpart stood there with their hands on the chest, I'm not saying she even has to do that. This is America, and that's the beauty of it, right? But she turned her back, and then she put on a T-shirt. I forget what the T-shirt said, something like activist athlete or something. Basically, she sucks at her sport, and she's trying to become Colin Kaepernick, okay? Because she wants to reap the benefits that Colin Kaepernick reaped when he sucked at his sport and kneeled during the national anthem. Everyone wants to say is to change American blah blah blah. Him kneeling didn't do a damn thing, and we all know it was propaganda from him because he just wanted to get noticed and he eventually got a payout. Good for him. He tricked the morons of the NFL, and it is what it is. But she's trying to pull the same thing because the picture you're looking at, Joey, is a picture of said Gwen Berry where she posed not too long ago, standing in front of the American flag, smiling. So what the hell changed in the few weeks from this picture to when she all of a sudden decided to put a t-shirt on her head and say activist athlete?
So, you know,
she's a moron because she made a statement about the third verse of the American anthem, of the national anthem.
Right.
Francis Scott Key wrote that during the War of 1812. And when it's being talked about slaves and whatnot, he was talking about the slaves during that were being taken. It was American soldiers that were being taken and put into essentially slavery during the World War of 1812 by the British. Okay, so she thinks she got her damn story wrong. She thought it had something to do with the black slaves of America, right? Totally off base. Anyways, what say you?
Man, so first off, I did hear actually a little bit about this story. I didn't know her name. My thing is just exactly what you were alluding to. If this was so important to you, why did you have pictures from your past? Why are you alluding to this on the grandest stage of them all just to get your name more out there? Because I know it always doesn't matter if you're at the top of your game, but if she's not a top athlete at this so-called sport they put in the Olympics, she's trying to make a point and a name for herself. And I kind of see that is, hey, like you said, it's a free country. If you don't want to put your hand over your chest, I get it. But this is America. This is the Olympics. Everyone's
just the hypocrisy of what we're looking at here. Okay. And then also the fact that, she's just doing this to try to get some kind of a paycheck from Nike or something because she sucks. She's not likely to medal because she's the third best in our country, not in the world. So to get a medal, you would have to be the third best in the world. And it's highly unlikely that we go 1, 2, 3 in the hammer throw. Right.
Right. And, like say if this was a Simone Biles who has a lot of stature to her name and had points behind it, you know what? Sure, I'm willing to listen. But at this point, to me, this seems like a grab at attention. And it's kind of sad, especially going into the great weekend we have known as 4th of July weekend.
It's pathetic is what it is. It's
really
pathetic because it's an athlete who just sucks. Okay. I mean, there is no other word for it. All right. The other thing, speaking of this kind of stuff, Jalen Rose. And we didn't get a chance to get into this when it broke the other day because we had a lot of stuff going on. But I wanted to hit this before we hit the weekend. His comments of Kevin Love tokenism, but he's on the team because of tokenism, is flat out disgusting. And why is ESPN never do anything about this stuff? He comes back and retracts and blah, blah, blah. Okay, but whatever. You said it. And if other people said things anywhere in that ilk, we don't have to get into it, damn good well they'd either be fired or they would be suspended. Nothing ever happens to these ESPN loons. There is no other word for it. They're loony bin. Now look, if you want to say Kevin Love is old and washed up and shouldn't be on the team, and maybe someone like a Julius Randle deserves to be on the team, or any number of young players, I can totally get that. Okay. But to throw the fact that it's white tokenism or something out there with them, he still will never let it go that Christian Laettner was put on the dream team. I guarantee you that's where this all stems from.
Well, and it's,
did you ever see that 30 for 30 with
I did.
I hate Christian Laettner?
Yep.
He comes off as a full-blown racist. Okay. And of course, ESPN don't do nothing about that either. He's a flat-out racist. He always has been. He leaned away from a little bit back when they had him on Get Up, and that was short-lived. I don't know why. I didn't dislike him per se on Get Up, but now that he's back doing this radio show with, I forget the idiot's name.
I think it's Jalen and Jacoby.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because all they talk is NBA, so it's brutal. I can't listen to it. Doesn't matter what time of year you flip over there when they put their little blurb on ESPN News at like 2 a.m, whatever the hell they put it on. It's always some blurb about, well, let's break you down the power forward with the Sacramento Kings. And I'm like, let's not. But so That's the only good thing that came out of this is that someone actually paid attention to what he said on his show because the show is brutal, and I don't think it's all his fault. I honestly think that Jacoby guy is just he's lame.
Boring.
Yeah, exactly. Like he has no personality. There's nothing there, and you always see Jalen with the baseball bat in his hand. Oh, Yelly, I don't talk one damn bit of baseball. What the hell is what are you doing over there? But what say you? Because I thought I do believe Kevin Love doesn't belong in the Olympic team for a lot of reasons. Maybe mainly because he's old as hell and didn't play much this season. And I think the reason why they put him on there is because he has Olympic team experience. And you go over there, you do like to have some veterans that are willing to go to say, "Hey guys, this is how it's done over here." You know, because there's a lot of questions, right? So I get the part why he's on there, but okay.
It's sad though, just like Scottie Pippen using the racist word with Phil Jackson. In today's day and age, you can't just throw.
You know why he did that, by the way, right?
Well, probably because he's got bourbon and a book out, and he's trying to get his
book. He's got a book out. And he wants to put a damn book. He's got a book. I think it's hitting the shelves this week or something like that. He's got a book out. That's the only reason why he said that about Phil Jackson. For people that missed that, we won't go into it. But
right.
Yeah,
but
it was asinine for him. You didn't say he was on ESPN for years. I think because I would see him.
He was. You're right.
I know, but you talking about Dull.
Oh yeah, I see what you're
Dull is dishwater, man. I mean, you want to talk about the ultimate Dull? Put him and put Jacoby on the same show, and they can talk about like the grass growing or something. But yeah, what the hell?
And it's just like Jalen Rose is doing. It's just a sad thing in this world in 2021 to be throwing out accusations like that. So he says he apologized to basketball. He doesn't even apologize really to Kevin Love, like you said.
Never mind. I thought you were talking about Pippen. I was like, apologize to Phil Jackson. So the guy was your damn head coach, won 6 championships, and it was all because he gave Tony Kukoc the last shot in a game where Jordan was obviously semi-retired. What are you talking about? He went with the strategy. It didn't work. It is what it is. Right.
And we all know how this goes. When somebody accuses somebody, usually you get a few people coming out. Thousands of African Americans have coached and played with Phil Jackson. Nobody said anything. Anyways,
he played for the Knicks in the 70s.
Correct.
If he was going to be racist, something would have came flying out of his mouth in the 70s.
Yeah. But just as asinine as Scotty was, so is Jalen here. To me, it's trying to get the poor, low ratings on his show up a little bit, trying to create a comment for himself. And it's sad because in today's day and age, guys like Kurt Schilling, other ESPN members have been thrown out for comments and things, yet Jalen Rose will keep sitting in his seat doing his poor show with poor ratings.
Yeah, what is up with freaking... Yeah, Kurt Schilling can't get in the Hall of Fame, but Jalen Rose continues to be employed. Shaq. His comments about LeBron, and it wasn't just LeBron, it was all the players. Did you see this where he was talking about basically saying, I'm making $200 million, there are 40 million people out of work, I'll play back to back to back if need be. That was summing up the quote, basically saying that all these players who are complaining and whining and moaning because of the injuries and that they don't have enough days off during the playoffs and blah, 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 blah. Dude, I don't remember an extensive amount of days off when Bird and Magic were going at it. I don't recall that when the Pistons and the Bulls were going at it. I don't remember any of this being an issue when the Lakers played the Pacers years and years ago. The hell are we talking about? These are young athletes in their prime, and they keep harping on the fact they didn't have enough time off. Okay. But the thing is, a lot of these injuries that are happening are goofy, and they're not something that you can attribute to a lack of a break between, what was it, late October, and then they began again in late December. So about 2 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
And usually they have about 4 months. And so I get it. And I do believe that they rushed it back to a degree, not by much. I would have started it on Christmas Day. And I do think that they rushed themselves to get to the playoffs because we are sitting at July 1st. What do you think? Probably 2.5 weeks left of basketball.
Correct.
At the most, because they'll get the finals going next week. And that usually takes around 10 days. Okay. So there was no rush to get that out there, to be perfectly honest with you. They could have easily done their playoffs. In fact, I would have this is before we knew that Major League Baseball was going to tick off a lot of fans and move the All-Star game out to Colorado. But what I would have done to start my NBA finals pre that decision, when I was building it, I would have said the NBA finals start on Wednesday, the day after the All-Star game, because typically there's no sports on the planet playing on that day. So you would have the entire world as your stage, because baseball doesn't come back until a couple of days later. And then obviously hockey would be over with, et cetera, et cetera. So I do think that they rushed it back a little bit, but you can't attribute all this to all these injuries. I mean, most of them are like landing on people's foot, right?
Yep.
How the hell does that make a difference if you had 2 months off or 4 months off?
Well, and then again, because NBA players will always find a way to complain. That's what they're good at. They moved it. They did 2 weeks prior as well to spread out the schedule during the year so they don't end up with so many back-to-back games. So they were just kind of screwed at this point in time with COVID. They had to delay last year a little bit and uptick this year a little bit. And they tried to make it where, hey, we're going to give you guys some more days off in between games. We realize we're squeezing a tight schedule in, but sometimes you just got to deal with the card at hand. And I could see part of where Shaq's coming from and just like, deal with it and move on. At the same time, it's not that easy. I know the scheduling was messed up, but come on now. We're better than this. For a COVID time, you guys were able to get your seasons in, finish strong, and we'll move on to the next season where they hopefully make good scheduling changes starting closer to Christmas.
Amen to that. And so the last thing that we're going to hit here, a lot of big topics, but I want to make sure we hit them before we hit the 4-day weekend, is the Trevor Bauer stuff.
Oh.
And I'm going to try to clean this up as much as possible. The short of the story is the lady who's claiming assault on Bauer, and he's trying to show text messages where it was consensual, but what I read in The Athletic didn't really clear him of anything, to be honest with you. But just him texting stuff like "I would never hurt you," that doesn't mean you didn't do something. Okay. If there were text messages back then, I could see OJ Simpson send the same thing to Nicole. Right.
Yeah.
But the gist of it is this: he is being accused by the woman of sexual incidents where he punched her in the nether region, the buttocks, and also stuck fingers down her throat until she passed out from strangling and came in and out of consciousness. Dude, how the hell do you talk yourself out of this one? I mean, I don't care how good of a lawyer you've got. This is a bad look. Even if this is consensual, this is a bad look. I don't know how in the world you come back from this. What say you?
Somehow Bill Cosby did, but that's another story.
Yes, no,
yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, keeping at the topic.
I guess he needs to go get that lawyer. I don't know. But
in all honesty, and bringing a hard situation to the surface, it's a very bad look. Like you said, you can send text messages, do whatever you want, but when stories get out there like this, you really wonder how much the ball rolls down the hill. Unfortunately, we saw it with Deshaun Watson. We've seen it with other players. Usually it doesn't stop at one accusation. And I like to let the court system handle all this, but it's ugly that it even was brought up. And I just hope for him, maybe something's not really adding up because, like you said, I don't know how he recovers from this if true.
Well, something's not adding up. I'm trying to find, and I'm seeing when the next time he's supposed to take the hill, because it's not today or tomorrow. So let me see if it's Saturday, possibly. Or if they've taken him. See, Kershaw goes Saturday. Oh, wouldn't that be just wonderful if he's like 4th of July, supposed to be on like national television somewhere? Yeah, up 4th of July, 11 a.m. Eastern time, which I'm pretty sure that is an ESPN game. It's against the Nationals. So wouldn't that just be lovely? Do you think he's actually allowed to make that start?
I think he will make that start.
I'm talking about by the organization. I'm not, because I know it's too quick for them to come down with the hammer of justice, right?
Right.
But do you think the Dodgers might not? Dude, I do not want you pitching on the 4th of July, right? It's in Washington too, so it's not like he's even going to get friendly fan fire, right?
You know what? Maybe you just let him sit this one out and try to keep.
I think I would, man. If I had any other option, I'd have him pitching any other day but the 4th of July, the game that leads. I'm pretty sure the way I'm reading that, it is the game that's going to lead off like a quadruple header on ESPN. You don't, that's not the look you want. That's not the look you want.
No, maybe I'm, man, when you say it like that, maybe I'm thinking twice as well. I know you're in a big time race with a couple other teams. He's one of your best pitchers, but
you have him in fantasy, by the way.
I do not have him in fantasy.
I'd be selling him so quick. If I would sell him for something worthwhile, because you don't want to just totally screw yourself. But I'd be trying to get out of that because I got a bad feeling that he's going to get suspended and it's going to hurt your team massively. Whoever has Trevor, I don't think I have him in any of my leagues. I could be wrong. I've got 7 leagues, but I was sitting there trying to think this morning. I was like, I don't think I have him I know I don't have any of my Yahoo leagues. I can't remember if he's on a couple of my ESPN leagues or not, but wow.
Someone who hasn't fully heard this story yet, trade it to that person because they'll probably love to have.
Or doesn't understand it, doesn't quite understand like the full, the fingers down the throat things. Nah, man, it's fine. It's just a he said, she said, and then just kind of rolling your eyes. Come on, baby.
Oh boy.
Give me Garrett Cole. Let's get out of here. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hit the points against the spread. And then we've also got NBA playoffs, big news there, and the Stanley Cup. We'll be back in a flash here on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Keep it locked in here to CBS Sports Radio and the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube Live.
You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
Even though you're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on CBS Sports Radio. We're here weekdays, drive time, your first choice for sports talk here on the First Coast.
We live in a world now that welcomes and nurtures the screwball in all of us. Hey, it's a new decade, people. Time to get a little nutty. Treat yourself to Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, a smooth flavor that combines 2 of America's favorites, peanut butter and American whiskey. So no more social awkwardness. Time to embrace who you truly are. Get out there and make friends. And be sure it starts with Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. It's available nearly everywhere. Learn more at screwballwhiskey.com. Infidium Spirits. Please enjoy responsibly.
What do we do? This just got way too complicated.
I've got it. Here's what's going down. Corey, you talk to your team. You guys are going to decline that holding call.
Done.
Yo, wait, but then... Hold on. Trayshawn, once we break this huddle, you're going to get out there, do some crazy celebration. I'm talking some humpies. Whatever you got to do, you do it.
Okay, I got you.
I'm going to call unsportsmanlike conduct on the celebration. Give me the Whites better field position after the kickoff. Coach, I need you to talk to your team about letting them run that kickoff back.
Why would I do that?
Think about it. Defense, special team, it's all one. You let them run that kickback, both your defenses get 6 points.
Nice.
Okay, everyone good here?
Yeah.
Nope. Once again, my kicker is getting no love.
Oh, shut up, Bill. Your team is in first place. Plus, you're about to get extra point for the PAT.
Yeah, don't be greedy, Bill.
Stop being greedy, Bill.
Bill. Fine.
Bill. Yeah, Bill.
I said fine.
Bill.
Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
You, Bill.
All right. Let's do this. Get out there.
Wait a minute. Trayshawn comes in with a very delayed celebration here. Oh, wow. I'm pretty sure that's going to be yeah, there it is. Another
Armchair.
You get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. So much, I'm going to have to speed things up. You can get the Farmers Signal app, and that could get you up to 15% off your auto policy. That's just for using the app and driving like the normal speed limit, hearing, full stop, making lane change, signaling human being you are. Get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. Start with a quote by calling 1-800-FARMERS.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
It's time to jump into DraftKings. Go to DraftKings today. at DraftKings.com. Golf, NASCAR, soccer, you name it. And of course, Major League Baseball, basketball, hockey, and football. Go to DraftKings.com. Listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks for DFS advice all year round.
You think I got canceled? Are you under the impression that I got canceled?
Have I hurt you, Jerry?
I thought that was pretty well documented. This is
shows
is this still
go-
CNN?
Don't-
I was the #1 show on television, Larry.
You were
Do you know who I am? 70.
Looking forward to hopefully seeing the West Cook Band live in Nashville in September as we are heading that direction. By the way, if you want to catch West Cook, he's normally playing somewhere down on the area of Broadway, like, the Strip in Nashville, and you can go onto his Facebook page, the West Cook Band, and they always update where they're playing. So I'm looking forward to that. Also looking forward to the fact, Joey, we just got our tickets last night to go see the Grand Ole Opry, which my wife has never been to the Grand Ole Opry, and that's that's an historic thing considering that she's a big country music fan, and so she's never been to that. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going to take her to this joint right across the way that little birdie told me about years and years ago, called the Nashville Palace, and it's kind of like a dive bar that big names have and continue to play at.
Nice.
And so if you follow country music at all, Tracy Byrd was there the other night. So
okay.
Yeah, so it's usually, they're not going to get Garth Brooks in there, but they're going to get people who were big names or people who are on their way up. And you'll go in, it's the same thing at Legends, but it's different because the Palace has more of like a home feel to it. You go in and every single record that you see on the wall is autographed, because if the record is on the wall, that band or that singer played in that building. And it's the names on names. Like Elvis Presley has a signed, it is the names on names. So we're looking forward to stopping by there. No idea who we're going to see, but we are looking forward to it. Let's go ahead and get into our picks, as it is time to get a little skin in the game going here. I can't find the sound bite these glasses, so that's a wrap. I'm just go. By the way,
great glasses. I love them.
I need to go ahead and get set up for later on. We do turn back time, find that sucker now, because I'll never. There we go. You can't see nothing through these. Not only are they dark, but with the USA flag stuff on them, there's nothing, but all I can see is a grid. That's
America.
Yeah, I can barely make out your face, and that's about it.
Probably a good thing.
So, where are you going today on skin in the game? What pick are you going with today?
So I think people will probably be a little shocked by this because they stink. But the Minnesota Twins are plus 125 today at the White Sox, and they have Josh Berrios on the mound. I believe it's plus 125 when I checked earlier this morning. Maybe things changed a little now, but he's a pretty good record this year. He was my AL Cy Young. I don't think that's going to happen, but the Twins have lost the first couple here. It's a day game. I think the Sox kind of go sleeping.
Even against Rodon, that doesn't make you a little nervous?
Rodon, I love him, but his last couple of starts, at least the last, I'm not saying they were bad starts by any means, but they weren't at the top of his game. So I just think they have one of those letdown day games where they're trying to get the series sweep over with and kind of overlooked today.
Okay. So there's a lot of games where you got a really good starting pitcher going up against a bum. So we never like taking anything over minus 200. And I really don't like taking anything minus over like 175, because it's really difficult to make money that way. So where I'm going to go is the late night tilt. Johnny Cueto, who's pitched pretty well the last few times out, minus 150 at the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Merrill Kelly, who's pitched okay, but I'm just going to take my odds that there's a good chance the Arizona Diamondbacks lose a baseball game because the sun came up today. So I'm going to take the Giants. Another one that does intrigue me, if people are looking for other ones, I almost went with Patrick Corbin and the Nationals at home against the Dodgers, just because when you're hot, man. You ride that, and the Nationals are red hot.
That was my second choice as well.
You can't get them out. The Rays, now granted, the Rays put probably the two worst pitchers out there in this series, but they were absolutely drilled And so a fun 4-game series. I'm going to be watching this series. A fun 4-game series with the Dodgers could be a prelude to the playoffs, because I'm telling you right now, if you ask me right now if they played a tournament for the NL East on who would get to go to the playoffs, the Nationals would be my pick. They don't even have Strasburg right now. The Nationals would be my pick because their bats are hot. Everything's going hot. The other one that intrigues me, I get that DeGrom's going today.
Oh, it's funny you bring this up too. I'm with you.
But the Braves bumped up Ian Anderson a day. If he would have went on the typical rotation, it was supposed to be Smiley, but he is going off normal rest. So it's not like, they're doing something outlandish. What I'm intrigued about that is the Mets rarely get good run support for DeGrom. If I'm talking about the run line, I don't know if I would go crazy and pick the win, but if you take the run line plus 1.5, the Braves are at home with Ian Anderson, who usually pitches pretty well in these types of spots. He's more likely to lay an egg against like the Pirates than he is against the Mets. Plus 1.5 is only minus 115 on the line. And to give people an indication, normally when you get the plus 1.5, you're normally talking about much closer to minus 200 or even worse. So that one intrigues me. All right, moving on. The NBA playoffs, they continue. Even though those Suns sent those Clippers a packing. Did you happen to stay up for this, by the way? Because I did.
I was in and out, but I actually did end up watching it through and finishing out the fourth quarter as the Suns.
Did you see the shove?
Yes.
What the hell, man? And for people that missed this, Beverly of the Clippers, this is towards the end. Suns game was out of reach. Chris Paul walks by Beverly. He says something. Now, who the hell knows what he said? I know Beverly's going to claim whatever. The only thing that's keeping this on the up and up is that Chris Paul isn't white, because he would have came with, who said something racist to me? Because that would have been the first thing, the shit parachute that gets pulled. He says something to him, whatever he said, which, by the way, Beverly had been shooting his mouth off all night long. Smack talking, defending, when he shot a shot, when he stopped some guy, whatever. Paul said something very low key, because it doesn't like he got in his face. He just kind of walked by, probably said, basically like, start packing. The golf course, the golf course opens tomorrow at 7, something like that. Whatever he said. He gives him a shove from behind, launches him to where he hits the floor. Now, no punches were thrown. Beverly was kicked out of the game. Here's my issue. If you go back and you watch that video, and I don't know the guy's name because he's a scrub off of the Suns bench, which, by the way, makes my point. You're a scrub on the Suns bench. It was some big, goofy-looking, like Eastern Bloc European guy, okay? He just kind of pushes Beverly back when he does that. Dude, you gotta clock him.
Yep.
You gotta, because that is your leader. You are a nobody, and he just assaulted your leader, right? I don't care what the circumstances were. He didn't put his hands on Beverly. He said something smart ass, but they were going back and forth all game long. And Beverly was doing it to everybody. Beverly's known as a smack talker. Whoever this Eastern European guy is, who's like 7 feet tall, dude, he's right there, and he just kind of like lightly shoves him. You got to grab him and clock him. And I don't care if you miss whatever. You got to try to clock him so that get kicked out, get suspended. No one's going to miss you. You're not playing anyways. It's in the playoffs. The end of my bench does whoever and this is my point. You don't have goons in the NBA anymore, and they're sorely missed.
Well, I have a very funny story on this. So the guy that actually pushed him, he went to Bennett High School in Illinois, in my area, about 30 minutes.
Know who he is?
I actually got into a yelling confrontation with this guy at a bar before because he went to Bennett Academy anyways, 30 minutes outside of my neighborhood.
What's his name?
Frank Kaminsky. He's known. I saw the little light push he did. He was born out of Lisle, Illinois, But anyways, I got into it with him before, and he,
that's him. He looked Eastern European, but he's from Illinois. Okay.
He was actually
Just the way his hair was cut and everything. I thought he was Eastern European. He looked really weird. Okay.
One time we were at the Chicago White Sox game, and they have these pitching machines where you throw it as hard as you can.
I remember him in Wisconsin. He was really good.
Yep. And they actually, I think they might have lost to Duke or somebody, because I kept giving him crap about that as he's trying to pitch at the Chicago White Sox game, and he turned around and wasn't too happy with me. But that guy, no shock there. He's a big guy, soft hands.
Wasn't he the guy that went up against Duke in the finals?
Correct.
Okay, see, I didn't even recognize him.
He's been on a few NBA teams now. He's gotten around a little bit.
He averages 6 points a game. He can be missed.
He's a soft cookie.
Yeah. In the playoffs, he's averaged 6 minutes. And how many points is he averaging? 1.7 points a game. You could be missed. I don't care if they eject. I don't care if they say you're suspended for the entire NBA playoffs. You got to have your stars back.
Yes.
Yeah, I did not know that was Frank Kaminsky. He looks nothing like he did when he was at Wisconsin, man. I don't know what the hell.
He's struggling now, man. It's not like the glory days he had when he was putting 20 points a game.
Yeah, I'm looking at him compared to when he was at Wisconsin, as I have to look over my glasses to be able to say. Yeah, it doesn't even look like the same guy. Wow. Well, maybe he's from like Eastern Wisconsin. I don't know.
He's not representing Illinois well.
He's not. He really isn't. He's not representing Phoenix Suns very well. But yeah, he's 7'1". He's got to turn around and just clock him.
Hey, give me the Suns in 4 guy.
And the first person I thought of when I saw this, I forget the meathead's name, but he used to play for the Bulls. And he was specifically kept on the Bulls to fight guys like Rick Mahorn. I forget his name. It was right before Will Perdue. He was just a meathead, and he played for the Bulls. I'll look it up in a second. But you got to have that guy that we don't care. We'll send him out there to get 6 fouls. And that's what a lot in the 80s and 90s, even into the early 2000s, every team had a guy. And you missed that in the NBA.
It wasn't Charles Oakley, was it?
No, Charles Oakley was a stud.
No, he was a stud, but I just thought maybe
Charles Oakley was an all-timer for the New York Knicks. No,
right. I'm just thinking of fighters. That's all.
No, I'll find the guy. He was and he wasn't necessarily much of a fighter, but he was a goon in the respect that he would hammer you with the foul, and if need be, if someone would have pushed Michael Jordan, he would have punched him. I guarantee you. Anyways, I'll find it in a second, but let's move on. You got tonight the mash units of the Bucks and the Hawks. It looks like I don't think the Greek Freak's going to play. Do you?
No, it says he's doubtful and Trae Young's questionable. This series is just really throwing me for a loop. I mean, I thought Milwaukee after Trae Young was out, which it's funny. I listened to yesterday. It was funny to see him dancing and pouncing on the sidelines that whole time with that injured ankle he's got. But I think the Bucks win tonight at home and make it 3-2.
Luke Longley was the guy I was thinking of.
Oh, Luke Longley. I love, man, you're right.
Luke would put the hammer on. If someone would have pushed Jordan or Pippen or Horace Grant or whoever, there would have been a situation.
Oh yeah, he was.
Bill Whittington wouldn't have put up with that crap either.
Still the Bulls radio announcer as well, by the way. No, a couple of good names there, fan favorites that helped thicken out the team. But going back to tonight, even let's say Giannis and Trae Young plays, but he's limited hobbled. I think the Bucks find a way to win it like the Hawks did on their home court. I just think the Bucks, Barkley said it the other day, they're one of those teams where they're one of the best talented teams. It's just if they show up or not. So to me, they show up strong tonight and get the W and make it 3-2.
So you think, look, I think Trae Young's gonna play.
I think he's gonna play. I think he's gonna be limited, and I think Giannis is out. And I'm still taking the Bucks to win in a close one at home.
Is that just because
you like the sum of the part. What if they both don't play? Are you and the rest of the series? I'll say they're both out. You think the Bucks are going to take it in?
I do, because I think Chris Middleton is the best all-around player on the Milwaukee Bucks, and I think him, Drew Holiday are enough to lead the team over the top.
Well, I guess that can be debated, because if it's arguably he's the best player left in the NBA playoffs, Chris Middleton.
Quite possibly.
A healthy Trae Young, I would have to think twice about that.
Oh yeah, so I agree.
And Devin Booker has his moments, but he's not quite. He also just he will vanish from time to. By the way, for people who missed that game last night, Chris Paul scored 31 in the second half. I mean, he was draining it.
I think his final, 41 points.
Oh, it was still driving me nuts though, because I'm like this with every sport when you're not doing the bare bones of your fundamentals. And they had a commanding 20-point lead with about 5 or 6 minutes left. And they would cross the half court and chuck it up within 5 seconds and then get a rebound and chuck it right back up. I'm talking about the Suns. And all I could think of was, dude, if I'm coaching the team at that point, guys, come here. Call in timeout. Come here. If you would just burn the damn clock down to within 2 to 4 seconds, every trip down, when you're up by 20 with 5 minutes left, the math is going to play out in your favor. They're not going to have enough time to score enough points. And I'm talking about even when you get the rebound, don't put it back up, kick it back out.
Yeah.
Because the clock is now their number one enemy. Now, fortunately, guys hit some shots and then they were winning going away. But every time I would see one of them chuck it up, what is his name? Crowder. Crowder's supposed to be a freaking in the paint guy, and he's back there chucking 3-pointers up when they're up by 18 and 4 minutes. I'm like, what are you doing off of a rebound? Why are you chucking it back up, dude? There's still 14 seconds left on the shot clock.
No, that's why people complain about the NBA. All they want to do is shoot threes. And like you said, Jay Crowder's a defensive guy who mucks things up.
Dude,
so
out.
Take a deep breath. Slow it down. Chris Paul needs this NBA Finals.
Even Allen Iverson knew that.
Yeah.
He'd like to chuck it up. Allen Iverson would be out there dribbling a half court going, you see that clock? Yeah. There's only one sport where the clock isn't your enemy, and that's baseball. Every other sport, it's timed, right? Yep. Every other major sport. But I mean, even golf to a degree. Someone tried an argument one time, say, well, golf is a time. It is to a degree, because once you get to certain holes, you can only have so low of a score if you're chasing a guy.
Correct.
Baseball is the only sport. That's why it's still the only pure sport. But baseball is the only sport where it doesn't matter what the score is until, as the great Earl Weaver said, that's what makes baseball great. You have to get the other man out. You can't just run it into the damn line like a coward.
Hey, true.
Which of course ticked off a lot of football fans of the day. I don't know what we should call it, a coward. It's called smart winning football. Because if your team wasn't doing that, they were chucking it up by 4 with 13 seconds left and no time out. What the hell are you doing? You're trying to lose the game. But anyways, NHL last night. Yep. Wow. First of all, I thought the Habs played an incredible game. I thought they played very good hockey, and they still lost. And I think that is going to be much more of a gut punch than the first game when they lost 5-1. And to be honest with you, they didn't play a good game. They played a really good game last night and still lost. Now they're going back home for 2. They'll play tomorrow night and they'll play Monday night. There's no games this weekend. In your heart of hearts, is this series over?
After actually watching the 2 games full through, which I don't do a lot of for hockey, I think it's over. Like you said, the Canadians played a great game yesterday, and I know it's on the road, but I see them getting 1 game and this getting done in 5, sadly. I'm not going to go as far to say a clean sweep. I think Montreal may take one of these home games, being re-energized here, but Tampa Bay Lightning are just too good. as you know, yesterday you guys mentioned and Sean said it, the Lightning have been the best team in hockey for 3 seasons now, and it's a dynasty they formed here, and I think they come out in most 5 games at most.
Yeah, look, they have to at least split the home series, obviously, because if not, obviously it's over. You can't lose the next 2 games. You're not coming back.
Newsflash.
You're not coming back from 4-0. But I think if they're going to have a realistic shot at this, not only is tomorrow night's game do or die, I really think they have to hold home ice, because I think they'll be fortunate to get one in Tampa Bay. And if you're not 2-2 going back to Tampa, I think will be next Wednesday, will be game 5. If you're not 2-2, it really becomes, I mean, you're not going to beat this team three in a row.
No chance.
Tampa's too good. And I was giving Sean a hard time last night because he was texting me, because Ozzy Albies hit 2 home runs and the Braves blew out the Mets. First of all, like half those runs were against, a schmuck and then some guy and then a position player. So I always like when it's like 20-2, I'm like, I can only take so many of these stats real seriously, right?
Fair.
But he made the comment, goes, we're gonna have to apologize for Ozzy Albies. And because I've said several times, he's not a number 3 hitter when he's from the left side of the plate. Well, he hit those home runs from the right side of the plate, by the way, last night. And I said, dude, I understand what I'm watching. I'm not apologizing for anything. I said, but you and Justin need to apologize to the Tampa Bay Lightning because I'm going through our old videos to be able to put together a video to pin to the top of our page,
right?
YouTube. So I'm just taking clips and whatnot. And I came across a couple of their old content, which I remember them doing it at the time. I wasn't really involved in the conversation. I was kind of sitting here. This is the beginning of hockey season, and they had buried the Lightning. They were going on and on about the Boston Bruins and blah, 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 and how the Lightning are getting exposed. And I was like, y'all need to apologize. I've kind of held my tongue about this. I was like, but yeah, y'all aren't coming off good as my hockey experts. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, it's long enough dealing with my brother in Tampa Bay because that city just keeps winning. It's like, Jesus.
Tell the freaking Rays to wake up.
Yeah, for real. Rich Hill's throwing BP out there to Schwarber still.
Oh, he's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. Oh my God. And first of all, I don't know if I've ever noticed this before or if it's new to this year, but the Nationals right field and left field walls, they come up to like your knees. They're ridiculous. I mean, anything over like 6 feet goes flying out of the stadium. I feel like that's fairly new. I remember being able to see the bullpens. I don't remember the walls being that low. They're incredibly low because the one that Schwarber hit a couple of nights ago, okay, that was a legit home run. But the one that Soto hit, I mean, that thing barely cleared the wall. And I'm telling you, when it cleared the wall, it wasn't much higher than now. It got out in a flash, so there wasn't a outfielder back there at the wall. But it was like dying quail in any other stadium that thing's bouncing off the wall. So I don't know what the hell they did there, but they basically somewhat. Anyways, before we have to run out of here, 4th of July, what are some of your favorite traditions?
I mean, just getting out in the good weather, being able to celebrate, just grilling out hot dogs, brats, getting family together. Really recognizing what the holiday's about. I always support, as I say on my podcast and here, I always support the good things the troops do and all that. But in terms of traditions, getting outside, getting by a pool somewhere and just having a few brews with the family and having good memories, just relaxing a little bit.
Yeah, we pretty much, it looks like this year we're going to go over to some friend's house later in the afternoon and drink a few beers. I'll probably go out and try to find some fireworks. I don't go nuts with it. First of all, I don't try to I don't buy anything that's going to take your head off or anything like that. I'm not
JPP
trying to
style.
Yeah, I was about to say, my last name isn't Pierre Paul. But I'll usually get something. And we'll go over to their house. The first part of the day, me and my wife are probably just going to, hang out by the pool a little bit and chill out and whatnot, and then we're gonna go over to the friend's house. I don't get that into fireworks is my other thing. I really don't care about them. But I've said this before, when you're a kid growing up and you go to New York every summer and you saw the Grucci fireworks display that goes on in New York City up live and personal, everything else fails in comparison. So even and they've got good ones in Jacksonville. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to bash them, but they just fail in comparison because it's like we lived next door to a house that was owned by the Grucci firework company, or sorry, my grandparents lived there. I would be there we're up there for about a month every summer, right?
Okay.
And so I got to know that family pretty well. So we would watch, and the long story short, they're the ones that put together the ones when there's like a Statue of Liberty celebration, any kind of bicentennial celebration, any kind of big American celebration. The Grucci fireworks are the ones that put that on. So when you see that up alive and personal, the rest of it's just like, well, I don't, whatever.
It's okay.
And so I was amazed when I was a kid, and now as I've gotten older, I'm just like, seeing it on TV is good enough for me. I'm like, that's pretty cool, and you like seeing it because you're like, yeah, it still gives me a lot of sense of pride in my country when I see. I don't know why fireworks really have nothing to do with our independence, but it just feels like it does. So it is what it is. But there you go. We'll probably just do that. And my wife's getting screwed out of this deal though, because I was going to cook us steaks on the grill. Ooh. And now that we're going to a friend's house, that's off the table.
Hey, at least you don't have to cook.
She's done math about that. She said, hey, we got invited. I said, okay, cool. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not cooking steaks now.
I'll just bring my beer and call it a day.
Exactly. Time to turn back time and walk on out of here on a July 1st, Bobby Bonilla Day, by the way.
Yep. You
are familiar with Bobby Bonilla, right?
Yes, sir. Fully aware.
For people who don't know, happy Bobby Bonilla Day. He gets $1.19 million today. This goes throughout the year 2035, a deal that he made with the Mets years ago, as opposed to taking one lump sum. They were hurting financially, and they were like, well, we can afford to pay him $1 million next year. And so to push it off, he took this deal and he's reaping the benefits. So
God bless him.
I bet you that's his number one goal, is to make sure he lives till the age, till whatever age he'd be in the year 2035. And dude, at 2035, I have enough money saved up. That last one, I'd buy the most fireworks I could buy.
Bam goes the finger.
Turn back time. All right, so Mississippi State beat Vanderbilt for the College World Series. I did not watch any of it, but that's what Vanderbilt gets for cheating their way into it, right? NC State should have had a chance to play for the World Series. But with all that said, on this date in 1859, the first ever college baseball game was played. Amherst defeated Williams College. Listen to this score. 73-32. Although some reports dispute the score and said it was only 66-32.
Oh,
the
so
game played under Massachusetts rule. It was a square field with no foul territory. This is why they had so many. You imagine this, no foul territory? Takes place near the corner of North Street and Maple. So basically, if the ball was hit anywhere in that field, it was foul. So it's not just, okay, so what they would do is, because if you think about it, baseball still played in a square, right? But the dimensions in baseball are like this, right? Yeah. Back then, what they were doing, it was like this is home plate. So anywhere in that field was fair. And I'm looking at the box score, and it looks like there's only around 10 players there. So 10 guys were basically out there trying to cover the, I don't know, 3 or 4 football fields.
Oh, jeez.
And so, 73-32. I would have stopped my baseball program right then if I was Amherst, declare myself the best ever, never play a game again.
Throw in the white towel if you're the other team. My God.
Yeah, I mean, hell, they scored 32 in their own right. They probably figured they had a chance to come back at some point. Dude, we're only down 26, man. Let's go.
Fair.
I guarantee you there wasn't a closer back then. Birthdays.
It's your birthday today. What does that mean?
Happy birthday. Let me navigate through this so I can actually see what the hell's going on here. Here we go. Wow. 60 years old. Happy 60th. I did not know who's this old. Carl Lewis. Do you remember the great Carl Lewis?
A little bit, yep.
The best sprinter in the world for a long, long time. Won the Olympic gold for sprinter and long jumper in 84, 88, 92, and 96. 9 Olympic gold medals. Was born in Birmingham, Alabama, which is also the home of Hank Aaron. Something was in the water, man. So if you're going to have a kid in the near future, make sure it's that you race over to the Birmingham hospital and launch him out there. Also, happy 55th birthday to Patrick McEnroe, who is tennis broadcaster. He's been doing the Wimbledon, and of course he's the brother of the more famous John McEnroe. But a happy birthday to him as well. What is your walk-off for the day, sir?
Man, what a great show. A lot to talk about. My walk-off is everyone be safe. Mac, happy 4th of July to you and your family as well. And everyone just enjoy it. Take a couple days to turn off the burners, relax, have some fun, have a few drinks, and enjoy the time. So be safe, everybody, because it's a fun weekend, but let's make sure we all come back in one piece.
Yeah, with a good chance of there not being any playoffs on this weekend, I think it is a perfect weekend to just put a little baseball on the background. But obviously, you're not going to go bonkers, over a midseason baseball game. And I'll have a baseball on, but I think much more than that, I'm going to have some music cranked up, baby. This is gonna be piss off the neighbors weekend.
Oh, absolutely. Forget about it. I'm in an apartment. I'm blasting them.
Well, don't get evicted. I'm in a house and I'll be outside a little bit, but don't get evicted.
Well, my roommates can't have their volume on because that's just disgusting. But I could have my music blasted.
What's your go-to 4th of July song?
One of them. I honestly really just like "God Bless America." I love that one. I also love, even though it's Bruce Springsteen, "Born in the USA" just gets me going every time. So those are just a couple of the classics, but anything that just summer hits mostly or that involves America, I'm all in for it. How about you?
Proud to be an American. Lee Greenwood's probably my go-to. Of course, my favorite one, we used to finish the shows off with this, but it'll get snatched by YouTube. So there's no point in it. But the Johnny Cash "Ragged Old Flag," if you've never heard that, wow, that thing will give you goosebumps. It's still my favorite patriotic song. But if you're gonna sit there and be drinking beer and cranking it up, it's Proud to be American. And for years when I was a kid, I thought "Born in the USA" was this great song, and then I read and listened to the lyrics and didn't know that freaking what's his name, Springsteen is a pinko commie, and the whole thing is it's basically a modern day version of what the hell's the name of that song that "This Land Is Your Land."
Yeah, I was just as disappointed when I found that out. And my last little note, I actually sing the national anthem at some point during the weekend. I'll try to get a video of it and send it over because it's usually in front of like 30 to 40 people.
Is this a planned thing, or you just get freaking blotto and start singing the national anthem?
They tell me when I feel my point of getting blotto, it's time to turn the music on and represent. So I'll be sending you a video.
Like, you're not getting up on a stage or something and singing. You're just in the middle of a conversation. Just gonna start.
And bam!
Awesome.
America,
baby, yeah. All right, brother. Have a great weekend. See you next week.
Yep. Stay safe, man.
And we'll see y'all Tuesday. Have a great 4th of July.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. We're here weekdays. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another cigarette.